HCAM TV.
Good evening and welcome to the gathering. I'm Terry Malisi and I'm looking for Mike.
Yeah, Mike is here. How are we doing, Terry?
Hey, Mike, how are
I
you?
am fantastic. I can't wait for tonight. Tell us all about tonight. This is going to be a blast.
Looks like you're getting ready for a landing.
I tell you, we'll talk about this picture later, too. But
Yeah, and I know what's coming too.
so I can't wait to hear about this trip.
Oh boy, I'll tell you. First, I want to welcome everybody, and I want to say I hope everybody is well. And are we ready for some warm weather? Well, let me tell you, this week has not been bad because, you know, the temperatures have been rising, but not warm enough. So tonight, I'm going to take you to Sint Maarten, which is an island in Northern Caribbean. And it's an island that's comprised of two countries. So I stayed on the Dutch side, but there's also a French side. And for tonight's dinner, it's going to be a Dutch dinner. It's going to be a Caribbean salad, chicken locri, Torta San Martin, and tropical splash. So if you're ready, we can start with our dessert, the Torta San Martin, and that is a dessert from Malta. And it's a Maltese cake that they celebrate St. Martin with on November 11th. So, and I know every time you see one of these, you think, oh my God, you know, what's she thinking? Well, this is what we're going to do. And this is what we have. We have 1 cup of chopped walnuts, 1 cup of hazelnuts. We have 1 cup of dried figs chopped, 1 cup of fresh dates chopped. And then we have 2/3 cup of flour. We have 2/3 cup of brown sugar. We have 1/4 cup of raisins, 2 eggs, the zest of 1 orange, and we have 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of ground cloves, and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And let me tell you, the ground cloves, nothing like it. It is just wonderful. So we're going to start by beating the eggs with the sugar until it gets nice and frothy. So we're going to do that.
They didn't even cut it.
And Mike, you want to talk a little bit?
Oh, yeah. So as you beat that, I noticed I had to do some research because I'd never been to St. Maarten. And I didn't realize that it was 2 countries. I never knew that. And
Yep.
it just amazed me. And then I got to learn they don't have a border. I mean, they do have a line, but there's no like real border. And so you can just go into the country, walk in. And one of the amazing things that I learned was how the land was divided.
Oh, isn't that funny?
It's a great little story. And oh my God!
Why don't you share the listeners the story?
So basically, oh my goodness, I just lost it.
And while you're doing that, I'm just going to say I'm going to fold in the flour and the baking soda while you're doing that.
All right.
Baking powder. I'm such a baker.
So I got to learn that the division of the island between the Netherlands and France dates to March 23rd, 1648. Under the Treaty of Concordia, local folklore indicates that the division of land began with a walking contest.
Now think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here it is. I mean, it was being, great people, and we're going to have a contest to divide it. You know, how does that happen? So, so the contest was between a Frenchman and a Dutchman. Before they started, the Frenchman drank wine, while the Dutchman drank a stronger concoction, a Dutch gin, allowing the Frenchman to cover more territory and claim more land. And of course, to this day, the Dutch say the French cheated.
Don't you love it?
This is some great stuff here.
It is, it is. I am going to now add the nuts with the fruits. So yeah, I mean, think about that. How, I mean, imagine how long it took, right?
Yeah, it had to take a bunch because the island's 37 square miles. So that that must have been something.
Yeah, truly. But the island is quite interesting, I have to say.
So when did you go down there?
I went down there in, when was it? Oh, it was a while ago, 1994 maybe. And we stayed at Mullet Bay, which is on the Dutch side, on the bay side, and it's a golf resort. And so we were very heavily into golf at the time and did a lot of golfing. But when we weren't golfing, we were either at the pool or touring the island, looking at the beaches, and it was really, really very interesting. You'd get in your car and you'd go from one end to the other, and just like anything else, you know, just like most places in the world, you go and there's, you know, really nice areas, and then there's really areas that are depressed.
Sure.
And you saw that there.
Right.
And then they had a hurricane in 2017, I believe it was Irma, and that had to, you know, make the situation a little worse.
Well, absolutely. Their hurricane seasons that they run through July to November there. And,
That's right.
And you know, they don't. It just doesn't just rain there. It's always torrential. The rains are really heavy there from what I see on the weather and and what I've been learning. But it's quite. It's just like any kind of place that relies heavily on vacations
Tourism, right.
as the industry, you know, tourism.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are going to be places left out, and you know, because they're going to build up their tourist resorts and forget about the rest of the country. And that happens anywhere tourism lies.
It does. Yep. Yep. So it was pretty interesting. So as you can see, I mixed all the nuts with the fruit. I mixed the batter. And we all know this is going to be interesting, right?
I'm always curious to see what's going to happen.
I know. And as we know, true to form, all my desserts, well, most of them are pretty ugly, but they're not bad. They're pretty good. Pretty delicious, I have to say. So I am just going to move this around.
Yep.
I'm using my spurtles, which is allowing me to scrape up all the wonderful parts of this batter. And this is going to be pretty dense, I have to say. Yep. So we shall see
That's
what
going to be
happens
great.
here.
So one of the things too that you talk about with the island, the entire island boasts 80 different nationalities. It's a big melting pot of an island, and there are many good sand beaches. The restaurants are here fantastic, and the shopping. You know, everyone loves doing the shopping, especially the duty free, and of course the nightlife is one of the best around for an island nightlife. They're one of the best around. Arts and jewelry stores. That's the other big issue. The other big places there.
Yep, yep. Which are a lot of my favorite things: nightlife, shopping, restaurants. Speaking of restaurants, one of the best restaurants I have been to, I've been to quite a few, was a restaurant that was owned by Mrs. DuPont of the DuPont dynasty.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it was absolutely amazing. This restaurant was built into a cliff. So you'd go into the restaurant and you were taken to your table, which they had alcoves like this, right?
Yeah.
And in each alcove was a table. And as you sat at your table, you were part of the cliff. And right there, right below you was the ocean. And all open.
Wow.
You know, you had the alcove, but it was like an open air. It was amazing. And the food was really good too.
Well, I'm sure it is, just like anything in the Caribbean. So, what do you prefer, Caribbean or Caribbean? Which way do you
Caribbean.
go?
Caribbean. Caribbean soul, or what is it?
Yeah, something.
All those songs, right? And they all do it differently. They all pronounce it differently.
Right.
I don't know.
So
So
they
I
say-
have the torta in the oven,
Yep.
and that will bake 20 to 30 minutes. I'm going to leave it in for 30 minutes at 350. So we'll see what that comes out to be like. I don't know. But as you know, it's always an adventure, right?
Always is.
Always is. So the next dish we have is chicken locri, and this is kind of akin to Italian risotto, okay, because it's a
Okay.
rice dish.
Yep.
And although you don't have to stir it like you have to with risotto, which is you know, a little you have to be mindful when you're cooking it because you have to be stirring it all the time.
Sure.
But what we have here is 2 chicken breasts cut in bite size, 4 tablespoons are divided. I have 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, 2 stalks of celery chopped, 2 tomatoes chopped, 2 garlic cloves chopped, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1 onion chopped, 1 teaspoon of thyme. I'm using dried thyme. I have 2 3/4 cup of water and 1 1/3 cup of rice. And I also have a half of a small head of cabbage chopped. And it'll be interesting. You'll see what I'm going to do with that. And then I have hot sauce.
Oh, gotta have the hot sauce.
You'll see that a lot of the dishes in the Caribbean, as you know, they're spicy. They like their spice. So, so what we're going to do is I'm going to turn on the stove, and I am going to melt the butter, and I'm going to brown the chicken.
Okay.
So what else did you find out about St. Martin?
Well, one of the fun things that I did find out was that the picture that I'm using behind me, which you see a lot of video and you see a lot of things go on, but this here is one of the best beaches that you can lay on the beach and planes fly over you 100 to 200 feet overhead, landing. Well, in the other end of this, the first end is the beach, the other end is a hill. So it's a very short runway. So when planes take off, they actually take off right up against the fence. And people, I don't know why they do this.
They do. It's absolutely nuts.
They hold on to the fence and let the jet wash, blow them up. And nobody holds on to the fence. I mean, you can't. It's thousands of pounds of thrust, and it's just incredible. And that's one of biggest sightseeing things to do. I would watch them do it. I wouldn't stand there. I wouldn't
Yeah,
mind
exactly.
being underneath for a plane flying over, but I would not want to go and hold on to that fence.
Uh-huh.
But
I know,
that's
it's really, really interesting.
in that place. That's the Princess Juliana International Airport. The airport's located 15 kilometers west of Phillipsburg.
Yep. Yeah, and that's on the Dutch side, right?
Correct.
Yep, yep. It
And
was
the
close to the resort we were staying at. Which
so one
was
of the
quite
one of the
nice.
things too, where is it here? I got was they spell the name differently, and we had that discussion when we were going over the menus.
Yes,
And
yes.
I did not know that basically St. Martin in the French they use ST period, or if you spelt it out, it'd be SAINT.
Right.
But the Dutch, it's SINT.
Correct. And they spell Martin different too. It's
Yes, Martin is-
Maarten.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just hey, let's just cross each other's
Right.
line. But I
Right.
was I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just hey, let's just cross each other's line.
Right.
But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just hey, let's just cross each other's line.
Right.
But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just hey, let's just cross each other's line.
Right.
But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just hey, let's just cross each other's line.
Right.
But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just hey, let's just cross each other's line.
Right.
But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just hey, let's just cross each other's line.
Right.
But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just, hey, let's cross each other's
Right.
line. But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just, hey, let's cross each other's
Right.
line. But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just, hey, let's cross each other's
Right.
line. But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just, hey, let's cross each other's
Right.
line. But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just, hey, let's cross each other's
Right.
line. But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just, hey, let's cross each other's
Right.
line. But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just, hey, let's cross each other's
Right.
line. But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just, hey, let's cross each other's
Right.
line. But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just, hey, let's cross each other's
Right.
line. But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side.
Uh-huh.
Which I forget how many people they have, but it says
Arten.
right.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how they and they get along. Like I said, there's no patrol borders. There's just, hey, let's cross each other's
Right.
line. But
Right.
I did learn that even though the Dutch side is smaller, that is the more populated side,
Uh-huh.
which I forget how many people they have, but it's
Then I'm going to add the rice, mix it all up together. Oh, my hot sauce.
hot sauce. I wasn't
Yes.
sure how soon you were going to put that in.
I'm putting it in right now. And we like spicy, so you saw how much I dabbed in, right?
Right.
Right. We do. We like spicy in this house. Yep. Today, I don't know if you noticed, this is totally off base here, but it's National Clam Chowder Day. And I most times put hot sauce in my chowder.
I've known some people to do that. I don't understand it, but they do it.
Yeah, truly.
So-
It's good. It gives it a little kick.
It is a little fun factoid, which I think is hysterical, being a small island. But calls between the Dutch and the French sides of the islands are considered international calls. So it's you just can't call your neighbor on the Dutch side. You have to go through like an international call, like, hello operator, get me London,
It's 011 country code
Yeah.
and the number.
Yeah. Well, this
Yeah.
one here, no, theirs is 599.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. But what are you gonna do?
Oh,
so,
see, but that's over there. If you're calling from over here, it's
Over here,
011.
yes, right.
Yeah.
So here's another thing. Talking about the safety on the island, they have
Yes.
been getting better, but most visits to the island are trouble free. Crime has been increasing over the recent years, and basically it's mostly like what the police around here call crimes of opportunity. Like leaving valuables unattended on the beaches or in your car,
Yes.
stuff like that.
One
but
second. I'm going to add the rice and the
Yep.
water. Okay, go ahead.
There you go.
Continue.
Oh, that's fine. That's the most important stuff there. You're cooking.
Yeah.
They do have, break-ins at the resorts. They take advantage of that. But, they do recommend you take out, if you have a car, get theft insurance. If you get a rental car,
Yep.
take out
absolutely.
theft insurance, or else you could get stuck with a hefty bill if your car gets stolen.
Yep. Okay, I'm now adding the water. Okay, now this is going to be really nice. So I'm going to bring this back to a boil,
Okay.
and then once it starts boiling, I'm going to put it on simmer, and I'm going to cover it. And you want to make sure you get a good cover, because it's the steam and the heat that cooks the rice.
Correct.
Whew, that is beautiful. So, so continue on. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that while you're talking, and then I'll start the next part of the dish, which is, you see this right here.
Yeah,
This
what's
is
that?
a half a head of cabbage, chopped. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to melt this butter, and I'm going to saute the cabbage, not until it's soft, until it's crispy. You want it to maintain a crunchy substance.
Okay.
And then when I put the dish in its serving platter, we're going to sprinkle the cabbage on top of it. How do you like that?
Wow, that's very interesting. A great thing to do with cabbage. I would never would think of that one.
Uh-huh. Okay. This is coming to a boil, so I am going to cover it, turn it down to simmer, set it, and forget it. Ron Popeil.
Ron Popeil.
Ron
Guy was a
Popeil.
genius.
Yeah. So I am going to, right now, Mike, put on your timer, 20 minutes.
20 minutes, perfect.
Recipe says 15. I'm going to put 20 because
right,
I don't
so-
want to mess with the timer for the cake. And I do want to look at it. Interesting.
So it's, yeah, 10 minutes of.
That's all I can say about this cake. Interesting.
So
Yeah.
the other fun stuff here, the climate. Everyone loves. Of course, it's the Caribbean,
Yeah.
and temperature averages 80 to 85 degrees all year long, with
Yeah.
low humidity, gentle trade winds, brief intense rain showers, brief but intense rain showers, and of course, like we said earlier, July through November, hurricane season, which.
Yes.
They get clobbered out there. And,
Yep.
I think they are just still recovered from the last one from 4 years ago, 3.5
Yeah.
years ago.
Irma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite,
Yep.
quite the place. Have you been to any other of the islands at all?
I'm sorry?
Have you been to any other islands at all?
Yep. I've been to Bermuda, I want to say 3 times. Jamaica, Cozumel, Puerto Rico. I'd have to look at, isn't that terrible? I'd have to look at my sheet where I've been in the world.
This here may give this may here give some people ideas of what other meals you might be making in the future.
I have to tell you, like I said, I think I've been to 39 places in the world, 71 locations, and each location can be a show. So that's what I'm kind of banking on.
Sure.
I can talk about this salad that I have in front of me while I'm getting the cabbage going.
Excellent.
This is a Caribbean salad, and I have romaine lettuce, chopped, torn, whatever you want to do. I have 1 cup of mandarin oranges, 1 cup of pineapple chunks. Now you can use slices, chopped, chunks. I'm sorry, these are chunks. And I have 1 can of black beans drained and rinsed. So you want to make sure you rinse them so they can be nice and crunchy. And I have coconut for the topping. Now here's the interesting part. Now listen to these ingredients. These are the ingredients for the dressing. We have 1 tablespoon of orange zest, 1 tablespoon of cayenne pepper, 1 tablespoon of grated onion, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of chopped garlic, 1/4 cup of pineapple juice, 1/4 cup of white vinegar, and 1/8 of a cup of olive oil. Now, how does that sound?
I was intrigued. I mean, I love you get your pineapple or coconut right there. That's the part that intrigues me with a salad.
Yeah, truly. So I've got this cabbage. I've got this. The butter melted. I am mixing the cabbage around so that it gets coated with the melted butter. I'm going to turn down the heat a bit because I really don't want this to cook too much. Like I said, I just want to saute it enough.
Yep.
But I want it to remain crunchy. So you want to kind of keep an eye on that. And to this, we just want to sprinkle these ingredients, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to start with the beans because I have many of those. And this is going to look pretty amazing, right?
I mean,
So you want to put this all together like this so that when you bring it to the table, you can, grab a section of it and get everything that you need. So you really don't need to toss it. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Right.
I don't think tossing would do it justice. I mean, you have all the different layers, all the different textures, and you just want to grab into that.
Right. And black beans, how famous black beans are in Caribbean cooking, right?
Oh, just about everything, right?
Yeah. So now I'm just going to dabble with the pineapple and just place it around. And again, making sure that when you grab a section, you're going to get a good amount of everything. And this is really tropical, right? The pineapple, the mandarin oranges, the beans.
Beans, yep.
And that dressing, right? And then when we get everything all put together, we are going to put the dressing on it and then put the coconut on top of that. So the coconut is going to be the last thing you put on because you want it to stay crisp. How's that?
Wow. So it's going to look real pretty once you get those coconut shavings on there too.
Yeah.
That's great. What a great looking
Yeah.
piece.
So, it doesn't matter how cold it is on the outside, right? You can close your eyes and pretend you're in the Caribbean.
I'd have
Okay,
to turn the
I'm
heat
gonna-
up in the house a little bit, but I'm just loving this background. This is helping me a little bit.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to turn off the cabbage and let it sit there. I am not touching the rice. That's going to stay covered. I am going to put the dressing together. So what else do you know about St. Martin?
Well, that's really it. I was very surprised too that I learned that the electricity they use the 110 volts like they do here in the States. I thought that was very interesting, and I know they like the taxes. It's the cost of living there is high, and the tipping and the taxes when you go there. The hotel bills always include the 5%, and often the service charges are like 15%. Whereas the bar staff should be tipped between 10 and 15% if it's not included in the bill. That's what they say. If it's included in the bill, there's plenty of gratuity in there. There's no need to tip them more. And of course, there's 8% government tax. Government needs their money too. So
That's true.
and there's a departure tax at $20 when you go to leave. They get you coming in and going.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to make sure this is on. And I'm going to, I always worry when I do this. So I'm just going to make a total mess. So I am going to now pour this all over the salad. And I don't know if you can see it, but I'll tell you, with the spices and the juices, oh boy, just beautiful.
That's a perfect salad for an 80-degree day.
It is.
Yeah.
Now, you can have this for lunch,
Sure.
right? Now, how nice is this? You can even get a little crazy and toast the coconut.
Oh yeah.
I did not do that.
But that's great. What a beautiful looking dish.
Isn't it? So you could, sorry, I had to pick that up. I wouldn't want my cats to get it. So there you have it. It is your Caribbean salad. The cake just went off. That's very interesting. That's all I can say. We all know baking's not my forte.
This is what everyone loves to see. The moment of truth.
This is interesting. Now, this is in the category of ugly but delicious.
Right. Well, this is what everyone enjoys seeing is when something you bake come out of the oven. There you go.
There you go. Well, actually, it's not that bad.
No.
No. But, you know, I don't know. I'll shut off the oven. I want to be nice and safe.
Excellent.
So while we're doing all that, and we've got the cabbage done, we've got the rice that is
10 minutes to go on the rice.
cooking. How many more minutes?
10 more minutes on the rice.
Good, because guess what's next?
Yeah, this is something new to the show.
Can you guess?
Yeah, something that we're not used to. Normally, we get stemmed glasses, and we usually get some wine, but now we're doing something different.
Yes, and look at this. Look at what we have. We have coconut rum made on St. Martin.
There you go.
On the Dutch side. Okay. And this is what we're going to do. I'm going to take out my ice cubes. Okay, and I'm going to put these right over here. These are a little, they kind of got frozen together. Okay, I don't want to do that too much. And this recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of coconut rum, a 1/2 cup of pineapple juice, and a 1/2 cup of grapefruit juice. Now I'm going to kind of double the recipe. And this is really beautiful. I don't know if you can see the bottle.
Yep, that recipe was for one drink. What we showed.
Yeah. Well, you know, 1/4 cup. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Technically one drink. Okay.
But I'm not doing that. I am going to quadruple. And I might even, you know, because this is what you're going to do if you're making a punch bowl, right?
Sure.
You make a lot of it. And so what I'm going to make a batch of it so we can keep it in the fridge and have it, right? Whenever we feel like we need to be in the tropics.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was not all that bad, right?
No, it wasn't bad, but I can't wait. I just can't wait for this good weather to get here and open up my windows and smell the fresh air.
Yep. Now you see that? I'm going to do that again, okay?
Yep.
So that I'll have a good amount on hand. Okay. And this bottle, you can reuse it.
Oh yeah, it's very, very functioning.
Isn't it kind of cute? It really is. Okay, so I put more rum in there. So I need to put more of this in. And this will be just perfect. So this is the grapefruit juice. And it's kind of like, I don't know if you like salty dogs. Do you remember those drinks?
Oh, yeah, I remember those
Grapefruit juice and vodka?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a big one. This kind of reminds me a little bit of a tequila sunrise. Looking anyway.
Right.
Okay, so that's that. And then, where does that go on? I guess this goes on here. Okay. And then I guess I'm going to pour some with ice cubes. I don't like a lot of ice cubes.
No one does.
Sorry?
Nobody does.
No, I know.
So, and of course, it like everyone knows, too, that one of the national drinks of the whole Caribbean is rum. Thank you to our lovely pirate friends.
Yep. There's that. And this is pretty good. A little more. All right, there's that.
See, now you need a nice pink straw and a big umbrella or some fruit thingies to go with it. That'd be beautiful. There you go. There they are.
Not
Perfect.
pink, but I think it works. Can I take a little sip
Oh, you're going to have to because I can't.
before I toast H-Cam? Ooh, ooh. Oh, pull up the beach chair, sink my toes in the sand. I'm there. Oh, boy. That's really good.
That's excellent. So you got 4 minutes left on the rice.
All right. Okay, and I'm just going to take a quick taste. Make sure it's crunchy. Can you hear me crunch?
Yeah, a little bit. I can hear it.
It is crunchy. So that's good. Oh, wow.
So let's. We got a little time here. We could. I don't want to give it away, of course, but some people may guess. But next month is March, and our
It's
next
March. It's next week.
show. Yeah, next week is March, and 2 weeks from tonight we'll be back here.
Yes.
And we're gonna go a little further north. Right?
Yes,
I guess you
we
can say.
are. Yes, we
again,
are.
not give it away, but it is March, and
It is
so
March,
there's
and
a-
what happens in March?
yeah, you know,
You get little leprechauns running around, right?
yeah. Everyone puts an O and an apostrophe in front of their last name because everyone's Irish that day.
That's true. That's true. I have a nephew who was born on St. Patrick's Day, and he's Italian. So that's a funny thing, I have to say.
All right, so people might expect something green on our next show as we learn about that little trip that you did.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you'll see any green, but the meal should be pretty authentic to the country, I have to say.
Excellent. Well,
It's a
I'm sure
beautiful, beautiful place.
I'm sure you and I will probably be wearing something green.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Well, I can't wear the green because of the green screen behind me. I'll just
funny.
I'll look like a floating head.
Oh, we could have that, Mike.
We'll save that for the Halloween show.
Oh, there you go. Yep. That's
So
good.
we've got-
That's good.
So we got the rice coming up in 2 minutes.
I'm gonna take a peek.
Yeah, give it a gander.
It is still cooking.
All right.
It's still cooking. And it's funny because this is what the recipe called for.
Sure.
2 3/4 cup of water and 1 1/3 cup of rice. Normally it's 2 to 1, right?
Yeah, 2 to 1.
So-
Correct.
Yeah. And you look at the measurements, yeah, it's about right. So so this is taking a little time, and yep. And what I did do was I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit, and maybe if I, get the heat going, it'll
Sure.
absorb the liquid in there a little more because we only have 10 minutes here.
Yeah.
But because normally when I cook rice, I will bring the water to a boil. I simmer it for 10 minutes and then take it off the heat for 20, and I let it sit. So this has been a little different.
So where we here, have it like a Dutch meal, since we're on the Dutch, what would you think you would have created if you did the French side version?
Ooh,
Tell me, what kind of food did you have there? Did you taste everything?
um, you know, pretty much. French food, the second time I went to Paris, I had a food bucket list, not a place bucket list.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, French food, it's just a dream, no matter what you have, right? And I'm not going to talk too much about it because I don't want to give it away, what I'm going to be doing, because the shows in May I just put together,
Yeah.
and those are going to be very special to me. And I'll give you a little heads up on the places, okay? It'll be Rome
Oh,
and Paris.
excellent.
So those are two of the places we're going to visit in May. And that's really being revealing, because you know what's coming in March, at least the first show.
Yes.
But you don't know what's coming in April,
Nope.
and you don't know what's coming the end of March. And I like to keep things as a surprise.
Well, absolutely.
But-
Because I got no idea because I haven't seen your list yet to put on the schedule. But I'm ready for it.
There you go.
But
That's right. That's right. You
But I'm
have-
sure that the cooking on the French side in Saint Martin is going to be a little different than what they do in Paris. So
Oh,
that's
most
why I was
definitely.
just seeing how much.
Yeah. And again, it's kind of like that Cajun flair, right?
Right,
Because
right.
of the island and the spices.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But and I'm sure seafood is huge there as well.
Absolutely. Yep.
Well-
Any island you go to, seafood is big.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I like the. I remember when I went to Bermuda for my honeymoon was Bermuda, and
Yeah.
it was just amazing. The culture and the food and how the resorts like to put their twist on American meals, because Americans say, they see something that they recognize.
Oh,
and
like burgers and fries, right? They
Right.
all, no matter where you go, they all try and do it.
they take the American because they want people to have a choice, but yet they put their flair, their own little twist to it, and I
Right.
think that's I think that's great, and that's what I love about these series of shows, the traveling shows, is because now we're not just getting your flair on dishes, we are getting what you got from other countries and bring that to us. So that's great stuff.
And lobster is one of my favorite meals, right?
Yes.
My favorite dishes, my favorite things to eat since I was a young girl. And the warm water lobster, as you all know, they're different. They don't have claws.
Right.
They've got the really nice tail and the body, but and of course the legs, but no claws. So they're different, and the seafood in the places that you go, like for example, Florida, right?
Yep.
One of my favorite fish to eat down there is grouper. You very seldom see it up here.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's again, that's you go to these places for the food that you're not going to get around here. It's just like, you're not gonna go to Arizona and think you're gonna go there for the clam chowder.
That's right.
Or you're not going to Oklahoma for the lobster. It's
That's right. That's
and
right.
One of the funny things, the gentleman that I work with at the fire station, they traveled to Italy, and it was amazing when he ordered lobsters. They were from Maine. They actually had the Maine
Oh yeah,
stamps on it.
exactly. They do. They fly them in.
Yeah. So I can imagine
We
what
are
that
so
cost.
fortunate to be from this area, seafood wise, right?
Well, any food wise, it's easy for us to get all the food. I mean, there's some stuff that you can't get out of the Midwest. you try to, I'll just, for lack of a better term, get Italian food.
Yep.
It's not going to be, the stuff is not as good as what we get around here because it's very limited in what they have.
Right, exactly. And you see that when you start traveling across the country. I did a cross-country trip twice. And let me tell you, when you start driving through some of those states,
Yeah.
that is so true.
Yeah. Oh, I bet.
That is so true.
How's that rice looking? We just gave it 5 more minutes there.
5 more minutes. It's coming. It's coming
coming.
along.
Excellent.
I'm going to raise my glass right now. The dinner's not done, but I do want to toast HCAM because, boy, I just love you guys. And here's to you.
And we love you. We appreciate everything that you do and the time and the effort and energy that you put into
You see?
making your show.
You see how easy that's going down? Look at that. Uh-oh. It's really good.
That's what's tough. They sneak up on you too afterwards.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. Now it is still cooking. I'm just going to give this, we have how many more minutes, Mike?
So we have 3.5.
3.5. Okay, I'm going to bring it to the table.
Yeah, if it's not, yeah.
You'll see it, but I'm going to put it back on the stove.
I don't play. That's a smart move.
Yeah, and you'll see it.
Wow.
I don't know if you can see it that well.
Oh, the steam just cleared. It shows up. The steam just cleared.
Yeah, let me, you can see it, right?
Well, that's a great dish.
Yeah, and it smells delicious. It really does. There you go. Oh, look what we have to do.
Oh, yes, you got to have that. Yeah.
That's right. I want to make sure everything's shut off. Okay. And I'm going to sprinkle the cabbage over it.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can see that. And it just gives it another dimension. So.
Nothing wrong with having a little crunch.
No. There you go. So that's interesting, right? There you go.
That's great looking. And I just wish I could taste that. Because I love, watching you put that hot sauce on there.
I'll do it for you. I'll give it a
Let us
little
know.
taste. Delicious. Really good.
That's outstanding.
Whoa. Little bit of a kick.
Right. So now.
But it's sweet and savory, so it's perfect.
Oh, that's great. Well, if it's a little too hot, just take another sip of that drink right there.
Which I'm going to do.
All right, Terry. Listen, great job tonight, as usual.
All right.
We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Yep.
For another episode at 7 o'clock right after the news. And we'll be big into our next sports season here at HCAM.
Woohoo!
And we'll be having a lot of fun. So until next time, Terry, thank you again. We love you, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, and thank you for joining. And be sure to tune in again in 2 weeks. Take care. Be well. Be safe.